Okay, good morning everyone. Shalom Aleichem, Bruchim Abbaim. We're continuing in Daf Hashavua. We're learning Maseches Nedarim, Daf Amud Beis. The Gemara is analyzing the statement of Shmuel. Shmuel is analyzing the Mishnah. The Mishnah said that if someone says Mudrani Mimcha, Mufreshani Mimcha, Merchukani Mimcha, Shani Oichalach, Shani Toimlach, you're aser. Potentially there are two ways of reading the Mishnah. You could have read the Mishnah. These are two different options of Yadois Nedarim. One is Madrani Mimcha, Mufreshani Mimcha, Merchukani Mimcha. And another is Shani Oichalach, Shani Toimlach. But Shmuel says no. Only if you say both. Madrani Mimcha, Mufreshani Mimcha, Shani Oichalach, Shani Toimlach. You need to say both. We asked on Shmuel from various Braisas that all you need to do is say one. Now, originally, the reason why you needed to say Shani Oichalach is because if you don't say Shani Oichalach, Shani Toimlach, that's mashma that it's not even a Yad Nedarim at all. It's nothing at all. And Shmuel was saying, therefore, you need to say Shani Oichalach, Shani Toimlach. We asked on him from a number of Braisas that seem to say that it is significant. So rather, the Gemara had other possibilities that what Shmuel meant was, if you don't say Shani Oichalach, Shani Toimlach, they would both be aser to each other. You need to say Shani Oichalach, Shani Toimlach, that it's only I'm aser to you, but you're not aser to me. And the Gemara asked on that, because since the lashon of the Mishnah is Mimcha, why would Mimcha include both of them? So the Gemara said, no, what Shmuel meant was, you need to say Shani Oichalach, Shani Toimlach, otherwise you would even be aser bahana. So Gemara says, well, Shmuel should have said that if you don't say Shani Oichalach, Shani Toimlach, there's even a bigger aser. Why didn't Shmuel say that? Meaning, Shmuel should have said, you need to say Shani Oichalach, Shani Toimlach, because otherwise you'd even be aser bahana. So ultimately the Gemara said what Shmuel meant was, you need to say Shani Oichalach v'Shani Toimlach, but if you don't say that, it's what we call Yad She'enoi Moichiach. It's a handle, but it's not conclusive. We have Braisas that hold that it would be good enough. They hold Yadayim She'enoi Moichichos Havi Yadayim, and Shmuel holds Yadayim She'enoi Moichichos Loi Havi Yadayim. So the Gemara says, Lema Kasavar Shmuel Yadayim She'en Moichichos Loi Havi Yadayim. Shall we say that Shmuel holds Yadayim She'en Moichichos are not Yadayim? So Gemara says yes. In Shmuel Mukam Lalamasnis, and Shmuel would establish the Mishnah. Rabbi Yehuda, like Rabbi Yehuda, the Amar Yadayim She'en Moichichos Loi Havi Yadayim. Rabbi Yehuda holds Yadayim She'en Moichichos are not Yadayim. The Tanan we learned in the Mishnah. Gufay shall get. What is the main body of a get? The main body of a get is Hareat Muteres L'chal Adam. You are mutter to every person. Now, even though you didn't say, I'm giving you the get, even though you didn't say that I am divorcing you, even though maybe I'm giving it to you on behalf of someone else. Maybe I'm giving it to you to give to someone else. But if I say Harei at Muteres L'chal Adam, so there are really two unclarities over here. Number one, am I divorcing you, or maybe I'm divorcing you on behalf of someone else? And number two, maybe if the get says Harei at Muteres L'chal Adam, is it that you're divorcing her with the document of divorce, or maybe you're divorcing her orally? It's not clear that you're divorcing her with this get. Maybe the get is just a raya that you divorced her orally, and then it would be no good. But the Tanna Kama holds regarding both of these points, even though you didn't say I'm divorcing you, and even though you didn't say that it's with this shtar, it's good enough. Rabbi Yehuda says no. You have to say v'dein and this that is to you from me, Sefer Teruchan, a document of sending you out, v'igeres shivukin, and a letter of abandoning you. So you're saying v'dain with this star, and you're saying minoi, from me. So you're being clear about both of these points. You're being clear about the point of that it's from me, and you're being clear about the point that it's with this star. So the Tanakama holds yadayim she'en moichichos havian yadayim, because gufay shall get is hareat muteres l'chol adam, and Rabbi Yehuda says no, gufay shall get is you have to say number one v'dain with the star, and number two you have to say minai, from me. You have to say from me. So basically we have machlokes tanoim. The Tanakama holds that by Gittin, yadayim shemachichas having yadayim. Rabbi Yehuda holds by Gittin you need to say with this star, and you need to say from me. So Shmuel, who holds yadayim she'en moichichas loy having yadayim, he'll hold like Rabbi Yehuda. Look in the Ran. The Ran says lema kasava Shmuel. You're going to say Shmuel holds yadayim she'en moichichas loy having yadayim. In Shmuel mukilay l'masnis and Rabbi Yehuda. Kalaymer in vadei hachisrael, he definitely holds that. Le Shmuel demuki l'masnis and Rabbi Yehuda. How do I know that? Gufay shall get hareat muteres l'chol adam. V'loy tzarich lemichtav v'dain. You don't have to say and this. You know why you don't have to say and this? Because we don't assume he's divorcing her orally. The beloy v'dain without v'dain mashma. That's mashma. The bahai gita megarishla, that with this get you're divorcing her. V'ihuhu deka megarishla, and it's also he's divorcing her. Right? There are two things up for grabs over here. When you say, if you just say hareat muteres l'chol adam, maybe you're divorcing her with words, and the shtar is only there as a raya, and then the whole thing's off because you can't divorce her with words. And also, you didn't say you're divorcing her. Maybe you're divorcing her on behalf of someone else. So Shmuel holds yadayim she'en moichichos loy havia yadayim, but the Tanakama holds no. Gufay shall get hareat muteres l'chol adam. You don't have to say v'dain, because it's mashma you're divorcing her with this document. V'ihu dekama garshan, he's the one divorcing her. Di yadayim she'en moichichas havin yadayim. Yadayim she'en moichichas are yadayim. Rabbi Yehuda Omer v'dain. Di loy kasa v'dain. If you don't say v'dain, lema kasavar Shmuel. I'm sorry, havin yadayim. Even if you don't say v'dein having yadayim she'en mochichos the dilma b'dibura megarsla kilakaman. Maybe you're just divorcing her with words. Now, the Gemara has a kasha. Amai dachik Shmuel le'ukma l'masnisin k'Rabbi Yehuda. Why did Shmuel force himself to establish the Mishnah like Rabbi Yehuda? Look me k'Rabbanan. Why don't we establish the Mishnah like the Rabbanan that yadayim she'en mochichos havin yadayim afagav dein yadayim mochichos, even though ein yadayim mochichos? Why did Shmuel say that you need to say in the Mishnah not only mudrani mimcha mefreshani mimcha, but you need to say sha'ani oichalach v'sha'ani toyim lach? Because otherwise, maybe like the Gemara said on Amud Aleph, maybe you're just, I'm not going to talk to you, or I'm not going to do business with you, or I'm not going to stand in your Dalet Amos. Why did Shmuel have to say the halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda and establish the Mishnah like Rabbi Yehuda? Why doesn't he establish the Mishnah like the Rabbanan? Namely, that yadayim shemichichas havin yadayim. So you'll ask, if the Mishnah is like the Rabbanan, that yadayim shemichichas havin yadayim, then how do I understand the Mishnah? Why do I need to say both Madrani mimcha mefreshani mimcha and shani oichalach? Why would you have to add shani oichalach? Doesn't the fact that the Mishnah say shani oichalach, doesn't that indicate yadayim shemachichos loy havin yadayim? The answer is no. We could have said, like the Gemara said earlier, that the reason why you need to say shani oichalach v'shani toyimlach is because otherwise you'd even be aser b'hana. Meaning, why didn't the Mishnah why couldn't we interpret the Mishnah that way? That you need to say Shani Oichalach, Shani Toimlach, not because Yadayim Shen Mechichas Lai have in Yadayim, because otherwise you'd be Asar Ba'ana. And the only reason we fell off of that on Amid Aleph is because we asked, then Shmuel should have said that if you just said Mudrani Mecha, you're even Asar Ba'ana. So we know that Shmuel did not mean that, but now we're asking, he should have meant that. Why establish the Mishnah like Rabbi Yehuda, that Yadayim Shem Mechichas Lo having Yadayim, establish the Mishnah like the Rabbanan Yadayim Shem Mechichas having Yadayim? Why do you need to say both? Then you need to say both, because otherwise you'd be Asar B'Hana. The Ran continues, Umidamrin on Lema Kasavar Shmuel, Mashma, the fact that we say, shall we say Shmuel holds, Vadei Disrile L'Shmuel Gufei Hachi. Certainly Shmuel holds this way. The Lav Lefarushim Asisim B'Chodas. He's not only coming to explain the Mishnah. V'chitem and Efsim Ken Hechi Makshina and V'amai Dachik Shmuel L'Mukilel Masisim Rabbi Yehuda. Then what's the Gemara asking? Why did Shmuel establish the Mishnah like Rabbi Yehuda? Simply, he held the Mishnahs like Rabbi Yehuda because he holds that way. Nema de Mishamachi Svirale. Maybe he established the Mishnah like Rabbi Yehuda because he holds the Mishnahs like Rabbi Yehuda. No, like Lav Koshi, that's not a question. It has to be the Mishnah itself is indicative of the halachas like Rabbi Yehuda. The ilav de daik Shmuel mimasnis and asik Rabbi Yehuda. Had Shmuel not been a daik from the Mishnah is going like Rabbi Yehuda, lo shavik Rabbanan ba'avik Rabbi Yehuda. He would not have forsaken the Rabbanan and followed Rabbi Yehuda. Now, the Gemara continues. How did Shmuel know the Mishnah holds Yadayim Shein Mechichas Lai Havi Yadayim? Amar Rava said Masnis and Kashi say the Mishnah was difficult to Shmuel. Amai Ta'ani. Why does the Mishnah say Sha'ani Oichal Lach Sha'ani Tayem Lach? Why does the Mishnah say I'm not going to eat from you? I'm not going to taste from you. Listening Sha'ani Oichel Sha'ani Tayem. Shma mina ba'inan yadayim oichichais. The fact that you had to say shani oicha lach v'shani toyim lach. Why not just say shani oicha v'shani toyim? It's to teach that yadayim she'ein oichichais like having yadayim. Says the Ran Amarava Masnis and Kashi say lishni shani oicha v'shani toyim. Purest. V'yava tani hachi. If it would have taught that beloy lach, then I would have known have a shemi'ina and I would have inferred the yadayim shen mechichas having yadayim. If it would have said shani oichal v'shani toyim, I would have maintained, I would have seen yadayim shen mechichas having yadayim. If having yadayim, why do I need to add mudrani mimcha? Da'af agav the kfar amar mudrani mimcha, even though you already said mudrani mimcha, the hasfir olei l'shmuel the masis and chada katani. Shmuel holds the Mishnah as one long case. Afilu hachi shani oichel beloy lach. If you say mudrani mimcha shani oichel and you don't say lach, are yadayim sheinu mechichas nenu? Di kol you could say hachi kamar mudrani mimcha. I am usher and a neder to you. Meaning the question is, why is it yadayim sheinu mechichas? I don't say mudrani shani oichel. I'm saying mudrani mimcha. So I already said from you, because the Gemara seems to be saying, why do I need to say lecha? Isn't it obvious? I'm answering myself in a neder from you. Mudrani lecha. So the fact you have to say lecha, that would indicate yadayim shein mechichas lo havin yadayim. So the Ran is asking, why? What's unclear? It's not yadayim shein mechichas. Didn't you say mudrani mimcha? I already said you. So why do I need to say lecha? Don't say without lecha it's einon moichichais, because you already said mudrani mimcha. The answer is you could have said mimcha means that hachi kamar. Dikal meimer hachi kamar. Mudrani mimcha, I take a neder from you. Deloy mishteina ma'adach, that I won't talk to you. I achil nahayim. That if I eat today, meaning if it would have said mudrani mimcha sha'ani oichel, that I'm usher and a neder to you. If I eat, that's yadayim she'enam oichichais. Why is it enam oichichais? Because maybe what I meant is not I answer myself in a neder from eating from you, but I answer myself from a neder from you if I eat today, period, I'm aser in a neder. Or ad yoim ploini, umishim hachi tana masnisin lach. Therefore, I say, the Mishnah had to say, Mudrani mimcha shani oicha lach. I aser myself in a neder, I'm not going to eat from you. La ashmeinan, to teach, the taima de amar lach. The reason is because you said lach. Ha amar mudrani mimcha shani oichel. But if you say mudrani mimcha shani oichel, loy chayel nidrei klal. Davin yadayim shein moichichos, loy havin yadayim. Meaning Shmuel was medaik from the Mishnah. Why does the Mishnah say mudrani mimcha shani oichel lach? Just say mudrani mimcha shani oichel. Why do you need it to be moichichos with lach? To which the Ran asks, isn't it already moichichos? Because you say mudrani mimcha. So no, the Ran says Madrani Mimcha may just simply mean I aser myself in a neder from talking to you if I eat, period, today. So the reason why I need to say lach is to make it Yadayim Moichichas. So Shmuel is Medayik from the Mishnah, Yadayim Moichichas, She'enon Moichichas, Loi Havin Yadayim. Itmar, we learned, Yadayim She'en Moichichas. Handles that are not definite, are not indicative, are not conclusive. Abayi Amar having yadayim. Abayi says they are good handles. Rava Amar loy having yadayim. Rava says they're not. So simply it would seem that Shmuel, who holds like Rabbi Yehuda, that yadayim shein mechichas loy having yadayim, he goes like, or Abayi that says havia yadayim, he goes like the Chachamim by Gittin, that Yadayim Shen Mechichas having Yadayim. And Rava, who holds Lo Yav Yadayim, he goes like Rabbi Yehuda, that Gufay shall get, that Gufay shall get is V'den Dahavi L'chi Minoi, where you have to say with this and from me. Amar Rava, Rav Idi Azrali, Rava says the reason why Yadayim She'ena Mechichos Loi Havi Yadayim is because Rav Idi explained to me. Amar Kra Nazir Lahazir Lashem. A Nazir to be Mazir Lashem. Now this pasuk of Nazir Lahazir is talking about Yadayim. And it says, Ish Kiyafli Lindar Neder Nazir Lahazir Lashem. It says Nazir Lahazir teaches me Yadayim, and in that context it talks about Hafla, explicating it clearly. Makish Yadois Nazirus le Nazirus. It compares Yadois Nazirus to Nazirus. Namely, Ma Nazirus Bafla, just like Nazirus has to be explicated clearly, Af Yadois Nazirus Bafla. So to Yadois Nazirus has to be explicated clearly that Yadayim She'ena Mechichais Loi Havin Yadayim. Rava learns it out from the fact that the pasuk that teaches me Yadayim, we learn out, it says Hafla, so you have to be absolutely clear. Says the Gemara, Lema beplukta Rabbi Yehuda Rabbanan kamiflagi. Let us say Abai and Rava are arguing machlokes Tanam, Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbanan. The Tanan we learned in a Mishnah, we quoted earlier, Gufay shall get, Hare atmu teres l'chaladam. You are mutter to everyone. Even though you didn't say, I'm divorcing you. And even though you didn't say, I'm divorcing you with this star, Yadayim shein machichas havin Yadayim. That would seem to go like Abaye. Rabbi Yehuda says, V'dein dahavi l'chi minoi. And this will be to you from me. Sefer teruchin, a document of chasing you out. V'get peturin, and a document of exempting you. V'igaras shavukin, and a letter of abandoning you. So you have to say V'dein with this, and you have to say Minoi. So Rava, who holds Loi Havin Yadayim, he holds like Rabbi Yehuda. Abayi holds Havin Yadayim, he holds like the Chachamim. Says the Gemara, Abayi de Amar K'Rabbanan. Abayi who holds Yadayim Shen Mechichas Havin Yadayim, he could hold like the Rabbanan, that by Gittin, you have to spell everything out. I'm sorry, Abaye, who holds Yadayim she'enu mechichas having Yadayim, he could hold like the Rabbanan, namely I'm sorry. Abaye the Amr Rabban. Abaye seems to hold like the Rabbanon. Abaye holds Yadayim Shein Mechichas having Yadayim. He seems to hold like the Rabbanon that havi in Yadayim, and therefore you could say Harei Muteres L'Chol Adam. V'Rava the Amr Rabbi Yehuda. Rava holds Loi havi Yadayim. He holds like Rabbi Yehuda. They have to spell out everything. Says Gemara, no, Amr L'Chabai. Abaye would say, Ano the Amr Afilu Rabbi Yehuda. I hold Yadayim Shein Mechichas having Yadayim. I could hold like Rabbi Yehuda that by Gittin, you need to explicate everything with this star, and I'm divorcing you. Why? Ad kan like come Rabbi Yehuda. When did Rabbi Yehuda say Yadayim she'enu mechichais? Loi havi Yadayim, and you need Yadayim mechichais. When did Rabbi Yehuda say Ba'inu Yadayim mechichais? Ela gabe get, only by a document of divorce, because by divorce you need complete cutting off. The be'ina and krisos, you need to be completely cut off. So Abai says, really, I hold Yadayim She'en Mechichos and Kala Tarakula, having Yadayim, once you say a handle, then that's good enough. It's just that by Gittin, you need to, I could hold like Rabbi Yehuda, that you have to explicate that it's with this star, and that I'm divorcing you because in order for a get to be good, it has to be mamish sefer krisos, and it cannot be left to any interpretation. Avo ba'alma, but regularly, mishamele, did we ever hear that you need yadayim mechichos? Yeah, but everywhere else you don't need yadayim mechichos. For Rava holds yadayim shen mechichos, lo having yadayim amar. I could even go like the Rabbanan. That by get, you have to... I who hold Yadayim She'enu Mechichos, Lai having Yadayim, I could go like the Rabbanan, that by get, it's good enough to say, Harei Muteres L'Chol Adam. I, Eino Mechichos, in general, Lai having Yadayim. Ad kan Lai Kam Rabbanan, Lai B'inu Yadayim Mechichos, Ela Gabe get. The rabbis only said, Yadayim She'enu Mechichos, having Yadayim by Gittin. Only by Gittin, Rava says the Rabbanan hold it's good enough to say Harei Muteres L'Chol Adam. Why? The ein adam megaris eishes chaveroi, because obviously I'm divorcing you and I'm not divorcing someone else, because a person wouldn't divorce their friend's wife. Avo ba'alma, but regularly Yadayim she'en mechichos lo yavi Yadayim mishamet lahu. So there's a svara that by get you could use Yadayim. Regularly, Yadayim She'en Mechichos lo yavi Yadayim. But by get, you don't need Yadayim Mechichos because obviously that's the one you're divorcing. You're divorcing her and not someone else's wife. Now this is going lefi the tzad that the reason why it's Yadayim She'en Mechichos is because it's not clear who you're divorcing. But there's a whole nother issue by Gittin, namely, there was an issue, well maybe I'm not divorcing her with this shtar, maybe I'm divorcing her orally, and the shtar is merely a raya that I divorced her orally. Let's see the Ran, Amar Rava. Masnisin Kashise, I'm sorry, at the bottom Ran. Itmar Yadayim She'enu Mechichos. Okay, now this is very interesting. Makish Yadois Naziros LeNaziros. We compare Yadois Naziros to Naziros. The Yadois Milahazer Mafkilahu. We learn out from Nazir Lahazer. We learn out Yadayim. According to the Mandamar Dibra Torah Kalashim Bnei Adam, and we learn out from Nazir Lahazer Yadois Naziros Kinaziros, and we extend it to Nedarim with a hekesh. So it's comparing Yadois Naziros to Naziros, because Yadois we learn out from Lahazer, and Naziros needs hafla. Purest Amrinon b'Maseches Nazir. The Ran is calling the Gemara Nazir, the Amr of Tarfain, Demisha Rach Haveroi v'Amar Hareini Nazir, someone who sees his friend, and he says, I'm a Nazir. Let's say you see your friend saying, I'm a Nazir. So you see Ruvain, and you say, oh, Ruvain, nice to see you, I'm a Nazir, if you're a Nazir. Now we don't know if at that moment Ruvain was a Nazir. Ruvain sees his friend, and he says, oh, hi friend, I'm a Nazir like you. The thing is, we don't know if his friend was a Nazir at that moment. shahaya nazir imzen nazir v'lo hikar ba ba'isa shahaya nazir afal pi shenoidel achar mikan. Let's say we didn't know at that moment if he was a nazir, even though we find out later he is. Ein naziris chala alav. The nazir says not chal. Why not? Let's say like this. I'm looking at you on the Zoom. I say, oh, you look like I'm a nazir if you're a nazir. And we don't know if you were a nazir at that moment, and we find out you were. It's not chal. Why? Mishum de be'idna de kanazar. At the time you make the naziros, ba'inan hafla, you need to explicate it. It needs to be crystal clear that you're accepting naziros. And since we didn't know if the person that you wanted to be like was a nazir at that time, your naziros is not chal. V'laka u'mishum hachi amrina, and therefore what the Gemara means is man naziros b'hafla. Just like naziros, you need hafla. Dahainu hach hafla de kamrinan, namely the hafla that we need to know that if you're saying you're a nazir like so and so, we need to know so and so is a nazir. Af yadois naziros b'hafla. So too, when you use handles, it has to be clear. Just like when the etzem naziros, when you say naziros and you say I want to be a nazir like so and so, if you don't know if so and so is a nazir, it won't be chal because your naziros is lacking in hafla. So too, yadois have to be meichichais. Okay. We'll hold it over here, Rabbi Say. That is Daf Hashavua Beis. Have a wonderful day. Sorry about the message this morning.